You are now listening to Cyber Timebite, hosted by me, Stephen Clark. Hope you enjoy the podcast. Hey there, everybody. It's your boy Steve, once again, for episode 147 of Cyber Timebite. Yeah, it's 147 episodes. We are so close to 150 that it's nuts. I love it. I'm pretty sure you all love it. It's pretty cool and it's really great. But today, I'm with someone who cosplays from the state of Louisiana. I had someone else who's been. I had two other people who cosplay from the same state, and they were really cool, and I'm glad to have them on. But today, I'm with a cosplayer. I forgot. Bento Cosplay something.
Bento Box Cosplay.
Bento Box Cosplay. There we go. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be a part of the experience of Cyber Timebite.
Hey, thanks. So, I guess first question, where did the name come from?
Bento Box Cosplay, so, years and years ago, back in the ancient time of 2012, I'd been cosplaying for a little bit, and I decided that I wanted to make a Facebook page, which was the style at the time, before Instagram and before all of that. And so I was kind of thinking about it. At that time, I was going through like kind of my weeaboo phase a little bit.
Yeah.
And I came up with, I liked the ideas of bento boxes and all that different stuff. And then the thought process was kind of like, I have a lot of different stuff that I'm into, and I cosplay a lot of different things, and it's like a lunchbox with a lot of different things that you can get inside of it. So then I was like, oh, Bento Box Cosplay. And I was like, oh, well, somebody probably already has that cosplay moniker that they already kind of go by. So I looked it up, and there were no Bento Box cosplays at that point. So I was like, great, I'm taking it. And I made a Facebook page, and the rest is history.
That's really cool, actually. It's a lot more, I mean, that's a lot more creative than how my original username became to be. I mean, because my original, I mean, I'm Nostalgia Vamp now, but I used to be Luigi Steel back in the day.
Good old Luigi.
Yeah, I had that, and then the Steel part came from Guitar Hero because I'm a huge Guitar Hero freak, and like I put in my favorite character from Guitar Hero was literally called Axel Steel, and I took his last name and I took Luigi and I put them together and I made Luigi Steel. And
I always think it's really cool to find out the origin of people's usernames because they can definitely be very different from one another.
Yeah, I ran by that for a while and then when I got older, then I got into like I got into vampires, and that's when I put vamp at the end of it. And then when I got older, I wanted to make my username more around like what I'm like, and I freaking changed it from Luigi Steel Vamp to Nostalgia Vamp because I like nostalgic things and vampires. So I was like, why not put it together? That's how I got Nostalgia Vamp. Pretty cool, eh?
Mm-hmm. I thought it was definitely unique.
Hey, no, it's fine. So, lead up question to the username question. Your cosplay story. What's your whole story like from the day that you started from where you are today?
Well, I figure a lot of cosplayer stories start the exact same way, especially it sounds like those that you've had on the pod. But I started with Homestuck, of course, as many do. Um, and I was reading Homestuck way back in 2011, 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of my friends and I just fell in love completely with Terezi's character. I thought she was so cool. And at the time, I was like 15, 16, and it was everything I wanted to be. And I was like, I love this character. I wish there was a way I could just be this character. And she was like, well, why don't you cosplay? And I was like, what's that? And so I started down this rabbit hole, and I have like a theater background, so it definitely piqued my interest that I could just be in costume and perform like just on a regular day and not have to be in any kind of big production or anything. I was instantly enamored with it, and then I started putting together my first Terezi cosplay, and I cosplayed Terezi for the first time at the end of 2011, and since then I've been getting more and more elaborate with my cosplays and cosplaying more and more, and that would make the end of 2021 10 years, and I almost can't believe that.
I mean, but when you got done making the Terezi cosplay and you slapped it on for the first time and you see yourself as the character you always dreamed of being after all this time, and you finally do it, what you thought about it? Like, were you like, oh, this wasn't what I expected, or were you like, this is great, and now I get to roam around and be me?
Oh, it was so great. And but the first cosplay that you do is always kind of crappy, right? So it wasn't like the best cosplay in the world by any kind of means at all. But I spent months researching it because at that time there was like a huge hub of Homestuck cosplay tips on Tumblr, and I spent hours researching Homestuck cosplay tips and putting it together. And then when I finally put it on, I was so excited. And it wasn't the best cosplay in the world, but I was just finally going to be Terezi. And back then I was into a lot of the character acting that you do as the character too, and I felt kind of a kinship with Terezi, and so I just had a really good time. Of course, I'm embarrassed to look back on it, being that it was the way that it was, yeah. But I was having a great time.
Do you have any memories of that day and what you did, like the first day you put on the cosplay? Do you remember what you did that day in the cosplay?
Yeah, so actually there was a community of like different cosplayers in Louisiana at that time, and I kind of came into the cosplay scene here from another person, and my friend was going to this meetup that was happening in like City Park, and so I was like, oh, I'd love to go and see all these cosplayers and show off my cosplay. And at that point we were kind of out of the con season, if you will, because it was late in the year, and so I drove like several hours and put on a cosplay in a hotel room early in the morning and met up with these people, and it ended up being like a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but I was happy to be there. I was excited. I had a good time. I drew in chalk all over the sidewalk in City Park, and it was fun.
It's funny to hear that, like, oh, drove several hours to go to this meetup when you keep literally telling me you do not like driving for hours on your own.
Yes, I do not. I was with my family at that point though, because I was I definitely couldn't drive that distance by myself at that point. And I think my mom was like a little upset because she didn't really know what to expect at that point, and then she showed up and it was only like 10 other people, and she was like, what is this? So she felt like the drive was a long way for hardly anything, but I was just excited to see other people who cosplayed, especially because there weren't a lot like around me where I lived at that time.
And that's what happened on the first day you ever slapped on the cosplay, right? Is that you went to that meetup in the cosplay? That's what you did first day of it?
Yes, that's what I did.
So,
Because, I had all that gray makeup and I didn't want to like just sit around at my house in gray makeup. So I wanted to make sure that I was doing something with it. Although looking back on it, it probably would have been kind of the same, but
hey, listen, if you would have just stayed home and not gone anywhere, you literally would have been a Homestuck character being home stuck.
Definitely.
So like, since she's like your favorite character like ever, do you like collected everything that has to do with her, like every single kind of merchandise that's ever been sold of her, and whatever fan art that you particularly gained interest in that were made by other people you collected from, or?
No, actually, not necessarily. I have when the Scalemates came out for the first time. At that point, it was like the What Pumpkin store. It wasn't even We Love Fine yet.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when the first like professional Scalemate designs were released with like the Kickstarter campaign, and I was so excited. I hadn't bought like a lot of fandom stuff at that point, but I just had to have a Stalemate for sure. And so I actually have two. I have a lemon snout and a blue one that I always forget the name of. But I looked them up the other day, and actually, like, all these years later, apparently they're not even sold anymore. So they're worth like, lemon snout at least is worth like $100 by himself, like $150, which is kind of astonishing to me since I got him as a gift like long ago. So that would probably be like the most collectible thing that I own from Trezzy, I would say, or probably the two official squishies that I have. They don't sell them anymore, unfortunately.
But hey, it's always nice to keep those because they're official. It's good to have those for the cosplay because it makes sense, and
exactly.
And it's just amazing.
I had a family friend make me my first Scalemate before the official ones were released, and admittedly that one was kind of rough. Yeah. But I still have that one too. So I do like the Scalemates a lot.
Does your friend that did Vriska in the latest photos, which people who are listening right now, go look up her Instagram and look up those stuff photos. They're amazing. But the Vriska in those photos, has she been like your friend for like a long time, and you just met over Homestuck, or was it just a thing where you guys met like recently and you guys just quickly became friends and then you start taking photos together in Homestuck?
So shout out to Imperial Bunny is the Vriska in my photos on my Instagram. But she actually started cosplaying around the same time that I did. I think I started cosplaying in about 2011, and I think she was a year later in like 2020 started cosplaying and kind of coming into the scene. And she started with Homestuck as well. And a lot of my friends, even these days, even though it's been like 10 years now, a lot of them do have like roots in the Homestuck cosplay community. Obviously, because I feel like a lot of cosplayers started there because it's an easy place you can start. But she did do it. She did do Homestuck cosplay in 2012, and we weren't necessarily close up until like a few years ago. But I had a difficult time with something in my life, and she was there for me when I needed somebody to be there for me, and then we just kind of got closer because of that. and we just so happened to both like Homestuck cosplay and be around at kind of the same time that it was all happening. So
Yeah, that's a really cool story, actually. And
yeah, it's nice to be able to trace back roots together to that point.
yeah, but like, I mean, like, I've been to her account too. I even asked her to come on the podcast. She hasn't got back to me though. But I mean, like, that'd be really cool to have her on as well. Then I can ask her all these same questions even more. And but like, I was on her page, right, and I saw like her Roxy. And let me tell you, when it comes to her Roxy cosplay, she doesn't play around.
Oh, definitely not. She loves her Roxy cosplay. It's probably been revamped several times. I've revamped my Terezi probably 2 or 3 times.
I mean, is it purposely supposed to look like that? I mean, like, that's not how it looks in the comics. So is she purposely like changing it to her own style, like to like make it look like how it looks in the comic, but like different?
Yeah, so I feel like Homestuck is kind of unique in the sense that they were left a blank white color because you could fill them in with whatever kind of race or special traits you wanted them to have or whatever, kind of just like a coloring book of a make your own character kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the unique thing about Homestuck cosplay is that you can kind of put your own special spin on it to what you feel comfortable with and things like that. Like I've gone through like 3 different pairs of glasses for Terezi alone.
Yeah.
But I used to be really focused when I was cosplaying her on getting everything as accurate as possible. And I recently moved to like a more of a bigger size glasses, even though that's not really what she wears in the comic, just because I ended up liking the way the look of it more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Homestuck is really good for that, and cosplay in general. You can just make it whatever you want, which what makes it so great.
So, when was the last time you got into the Terezi cosplay? Was it for those photos, or was it even after that? And you were just like, I just want to be this today, and I'm just gonna do it because I want to.
Yeah, so that was kind of the last time that I was in that cosplay. But I do plan on putting it on again soon because I did get a lot of photos because I was with my friends. I did get a lot of photos with them, but I didn't get a lot of like cosplay videos necessarily. Because I always do a bunch of TikToks whenever I'm in cosplay, but I got so many photos that I was certain didn't want to do any. So I'm going to get back into Terezi soon, probably, but that was the last time that I did it.
No, that's really cool, and I know that you like cosplaying her, and I know that you would want to do it. I know that you would want to do it every single day if you could, but like
my skin would probably hate me.
Hey, there's also human stuff where you don't have to put on the paint, but I mean...
Very true. Very true.
But the gray does really make it more feel like the character. But besides cosplaying her, what else do you cosplay? And do you have any other favorite cosplays next to her? Because I'm pretty sure no one could top the Terezi cosplay, but what else is your favorite that you've done?
So my other one that I'm kind of, I guess, kind of known for, I have in my bio that I'm Louisiana's Pearl, and I kind of moved from Homestuck into Steven Universe a little bit. So I do a Pearl cosplay that's pretty well known in my area, Pearl from Steven Universe, and I really like doing her. I've done a lot of different versions of her, and I've really fell into that character. I also cosplay from video games and various other different forms of media. I don't do a lot of anime cosplay, but I do some. But Pearl is probably my other favorite that I wear a lot.
So like, why don't you cosplay for anime? Is it just a thing that you're not comfortable with, or are you just like there's just no character out there that's for me?
I do cosplay from animes. I do my Valentine from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I love that cosplay. And I'm working on a cosplay from Future Diary. So I do cosplay from anime. It's just that I've met a lot of people that tend to cosplay a lot from anime. That's mostly what you kind of see at an anime convention.
Mm-hmm.
I like anime, and I do cosplay some anime, obviously, but it's just not my favorite form of media, so I don't cosplay a lot of anime.
Oh,
So
you're not really, you don't really. So you like anime, but it's not really something like anime is not the thing I really am into, sort of thing. Like you're not really into it, but you like it.
yeah, I'm more of a video game person for sure.
All right, no, that's reasonable. I get it. I mean, like I don't want to say I'm the same way. I mean, when I do watch anime, but like I'm not like I'm not like one that watches like Mystic Messenger and Seven Deadly Sins and whatever and all that stuff. I mean, like I'm very picky when it comes to anime,
Hmm.
and I stick to what I like. And so like I really for me to really want to watch anime, I'm really gonna have to like how it's like in the story and the plot and everything.
Oh yeah, I haven't actually seen a lot of popular animes that most people have seen either, so I do like a few though. I'm trying to expand my anime library even further than where it is now.
Have you ever seen the all famous Myhero Academia?
I have not actually. I hope that your listeners won't crucify me for saying that, but I have not actually watched it. I've had a lot of people that tell me that I need to because it's really good, which I don't doubt, but I just haven't started it.
Hey, I mean, no problems here. I'm only on episode 6, so if anyone wants to go off on me about My Hero Academia not being caught up, it should be me.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who watch it and a lot of friends who cosplay from it, and um, I'm definitely like aware of it and I know a little bit about it, but I don't watch it myself.
Yeah, because don't you also do who's that character? Uh, the the one with the pink hair that's your profile picture on Instagram right now. I
Yes, I do a cosplay as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you brought that up. If you did, all right, I'm sorry, but you also do
No,
her.
you're good.
Do you like that cosplay?
From Future Diary.
Do you like that cosplay, or is that just a cosplay that you just wanted to test out to see if you would have liked?
Yeah, no, I like it. She's a classic character that you tend to see a lot and tends to stay around. Um, and I had my friends who wanted me to cosplay her, so I put the cosplay together, and it's probably one of the more ambitious wigs that I have styled to date. So yeah, I do like cosplaying her as well.
Because like, have you ever have you ever cosplayed like a character where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this cosplay, and then you take photos of it, and then you post it on Instagram or whatever, and you say like, hey, what do you guys think of this cosplay? Do you think I should do it more or blah blah blah? Like, because you're not very because you do it, but you're not sure if you think you like it or not. So you ask your fans or the people that follow you on Instagram or whatever, and they go like, "Oh yeah, this is really nice," or "Oh, you do it really good," and then there's gonna be the people on the other side of the fence being like, "Oh," on the other side of the fence, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I don't know about this," and like, have you ever been in a situation like that?
Yeah, I've been in situations where I've cosplayed things and then they got like really popular, and I wasn't really expecting it. I did my friend wanted to do a Seto Kaiba cosplay, and I was like, well, I'll do Mokuba with you with your Seto Kaiba. And I didn't expect a lot of people to latch on to my Mokuba cosplay, but I have more fans than I expected for my Mokuba cosplay, so that was kind of a surprise. People really liked that one. But yeah, definitely there's been cosplays where it's been very hard to gauge the response of what people are going to think of it, and then all of a sudden it's like really popular in terms of my content, and I'm like, okay, well, that works, you know?
Mm-hmm. But has there ever been a cosplay that you have done, but you just by never seen the light of day to the eyes of your Instagram or even to the eyes of the convention world, but you only done it in your home because you thought like, oh, I thought this was going to be good, but it ended up not really being good?
Um, Only there was this cosplay that I bought that didn't really fit that well. And that one hadn't really seen the light of day. There's been stuff that I've cosplayed a few times, and I'm just not in love with the way that I look as the character. And then I just don't do it again. I did a Lattes cosplay from Bioshock,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually had like another twin that was going to do the cosplay with me, and then that ended up not working out, and so I wore that cosplay like maybe once, and it wasn't even to a convention. And then without the other Lattes twin, I was like, well, this is kind of pointless, and I wasn't in love with the cosplay anyway in terms of how I did it, so I never did that one again.
No, that's fair. But sorry, your friend couldn't make it and do it with you.
No, it's good. I mean, it probably wasn't going to be the cosplay I was known a lot for anyway, so nothing was lost really.
It wasn't going to be what you hoped for.
No, definitely not. And sometimes, stuff like that doesn't really work out.
So since we're talking, since we've been talking about cosplay for like the past 27 minutes, um, which is cool because we're cosplayers and we get that thing. But what kind of shows do you watch? Like, what do you like? Like, I know you consider yourself more of a gamer and you don't really watch anime that much. But like, out of the anime that you do watch and the shows that you do watch and such and stuff like that, what do you watch?
As probably already gathered a little bit, I'm a huge Steven Universe fan.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of Steven Universe collectibles in my room, and I brought my Pearl to MomoCon in Georgia and met the cast and had them sign my stuff, and that's probably the biggest thing that I'm into is Steven Universe. But I also have been watching Kataguri recently on the suggestion of a friend, and I've been liking that anime a whole lot. And that's probably the anime that I'm currently watching right now that I'm trying to get into that's hip and around. But I actually watch a lot of true crime stuff too, like investigation discovery kind of thing, because it's good to have on in the background when you're doing other work.
You watch like all like those shows about like how someone got murdered and all that stuff, like all those murder mystery shows and all that stuff on the Instigation Discovery Channel, right?
Yes. Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah, you see, I'm not that. I'm not that kind of person. I don't like those kind of shows, but I mean, like, but hey, I mean, it makes you happy and you like watching them. So, I mean, that's all I care about. I mean, if that makes you happy, then that's what you do to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I watch a lot of Markiplier on YouTube.
He's a popular one, let me tell you. I have a friend who cosplays him.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I
That's
do.
pretty funny.
It's pretty cool, though. I mean, like, they go by Antsy on, I think on Instagram. I don't know. I gotta figure that out. But, So since you like watch true crimes and you watch like a few animes of Steven Universe, is that like do you ever ever thought? I was almost gonna say, do you ever thought make your own show? That doesn't make any sense. But have you ever thought about like collecting like more Homestuck? Because I know because I'm sure you have a lot of Homestuck stuff, but do you ever thought about collecting more to even out the Steven Universe stuff?
Yeah, a few Homestuck things that are kind of scattered around my family home and not where I actually live. I wanted a Pyrospite plush because I did a Flarp to Resi cosplay back in the day that I would like to redo and improve. So I wanted to kind of have a Pyrospite plush, but the website doesn't make them anymore, apparently. So those are like really expensive, so I might have to make my own in that situation. But yeah, I've definitely thought about it. I think that having the tarot cards, the Homestuck tarot cards that were released with the Kickstarter several years ago, would be pretty fun to have. And I have a few stickers from that Kickstarter, and I have the Spade shirt as well. So I have a few various things, but I just kind of really latched on to Steven Universe, so I have a lot from Steven Universe.
My universe is pretty big, I can't lie.
I'm sure you hear that a lot.
I mean, my universe has a lot of things going on with it. There's magic, there's powers, there's whatever you imagine it to be.
Exactly.
But like, since you're such a big Steven Universe fan, and I don't know if did that show end yet, or is it still going? I'm not sure.
Yes, it ended. I think they're talking about another spin-off series, but I haven't heard a lot about that. They did the series, the original series, and then they did the movie, and then they did like Steven Universe Future. But I think that aside from a spin-off that may happen, that it's pretty much over and done with.
Because like, have you ever got, because when that show was popular, there was also the shows that got popular. I don't think it was before that. I think it was, yeah, because Rebecca Sugar was on Adventure Time, and then she left Adventure Time to go make Steven Universe. But did you ever watch like Adventure Time regular show?
Oh yeah, definitely. My sister and I used to record them on the DVR and then sit down and watch them together when the new episodes came out. I don't think I ever finished Adventure Time because around the time Adventure Time was on, I was kind of transitioning from living at home to going to college. So I don't think I ever finished Adventure Time, but I got pretty far into it. But I did finish regular show, and that was a little bit bitter. But yeah, I did watch a few of those for sure. But I have this habit these days of getting into stuff like way after they've had their popularity and they're really prevalent in the community. That's when I choose to get into them, when everybody's kind of already moved on to the next thing. I am like super into Undertale now, and Undertale is like years old now, and nobody really talks about it or anything anymore, which is upsetting. but I'm into that now. Now that it's kind of come and gone for people, so that's why I'm kind of watching Kataguri, because I'm trying to get into something that's relevant in today's community.
Hey, I mean, like, you weren't like that with Homestuck, because you joined Homestuck like when it was fresh and when it was like almost like pretty much a baby.
I did, yeah, and that was such a cool experience. I feel like even with Steven Universe, like me being caught up to Steven Universe and being able to watch the new Steven Universe episodes, there was just something about Homestuck. There's just something about the community that came together through that comic, and like us all falling asleep basically when it was on hiatus, and then the whole internet blowing up every time there was an update. I kind of came around to Homestuck when Act 5 was kind of going on. So I ended up getting caught up. And then after past the point of Act 5, like in the Act 6 time period, I started kind of being with the fans whenever there was an update and seeing the different stuff. And I just haven't been able to find a high like that since then. But yeah, I was there. I remember when the Cascade Flash dropped and everybody lost their mind. It was a great experience.
Man, I wish I was there, but like the only big Homestuck thing I was there for was literally the ending, because I jumped in before the very last update happened, and like when that ending came out, people were hyped. They were like, "Oh my god, it's about to end. This is the last update. We gotta read it now."
Yeah. And I haven't even, spoiler alert for the final ending. I haven't even read it yet myself. I've been wanting to go back through the comic and see the ending because I know how it ends. I just haven't read it firsthand for myself. But it's when it was kind of ending, I was kind of becoming disenchanted with the story a little bit. So I kind of didn't like the way the story was going. I felt like the mood of it had kind of changed. So I kind of fell out of it at that point because of that. But I hear Terezi does some really cool stuff, so I would like to read it. But I was kind of out of it at that point.
Yeah, you gotta see your girl shine.
Exactly.
Like you gotta see her shine, and don't read the epilogue meat. I tell you, I swear to God.
Oh yeah, I had a friend come over, and I was explaining how I really didn't know how at that time, this was several years ago, I really didn't know how Homestuck had ended, and he was like, "Would you like to know?" And I was like, "I guess." And so we were prepping for a convention. It was literally the night before a convention, and I was getting my stuff together and packing, and he was reading the epilogues out loud to me in my apartment. Yeah. And I remember thinking, interesting.
Homestuck epilogue meet. I hear that oh god, you probably heard from that, but you probably already know that Terezi became of age, and things happened.
Terezi and John, that was really interesting for me. I actually, the funny thing is that the whole time I was in Homestuck as a small teenager, I really was enamored with John Egbert. I had this huge crush on John Egbert. and I was a Terezi cosplayer, so I'd mess around and be like, "Oh, I ship Terezi and John because Terezi's me and I love John." And and then when I found out that Terezi and John was kind of how that timeline ended, I was like, well, I joked about it, but I don't know how I feel about it actually happening in canon. It was kind of a culture shock because I was like, I feel like I spoke this into existence accidentally.
This was made for you.
Yeah, it was very weird. I was like, I feel like 16-year-old me would have been over the moon with excitement about this, but I just really don't know how to feel about it.
No.
I just knew that Karkat and Terezi would end up together. I just knew it. I was like, they have to. They're made for each other. It's perfect. And then so that was kind of a shock when I was told, like, no, not really. I was like, okay.
No. I can imagine your friends just reading it out loud to you, just doing your thing, and then you're just standing, and then you're hearing this, and like you're just, and then the John Terezi part comes, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, no, like I was packing my stuff, and I remember when that came up, I just kind of froze. Like I didn't even like. I remember I had to stop. I had to stop packing for a second and be like, what in the world is going on? No, it was definitely very interesting, especially when you're being read it out loud.
and then you should have paused, put the horns on, turn to your friend, and go like, why would you do this to me?
Exactly. It was. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was like the worst thing that could have happened, because it obviously isn't, but it definitely was a turn that I did not expect the car to go in, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it was. I hear interesting things went down. That's all I heard. I never read the epilogues yet, but I hear that interesting stuff have gone down in the epilogues.
Yeah, it's kind of written like a canon fan fiction. Is the best way to describe it. Like, it's like Hussey saw a fan fiction and he was like, this is really good. Let's just throw this into canon and see what happens. Is really how it felt to me.
I mean, like, but when that part did come up, did you even expect that to even happen in Homestuck alone? To even have like, oh, this is actually happening in Homestuck. This is canon. Like, they're actually saying that this is happening. Like, did you think it was going to be like squeak? I mean, Homestuck isn't squeaky clean in the first place. There's a lot of swearing and whatever already in it. But did you really expect it to go down that route?
No, not at all. And when I was reading Homestuck, my mom was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with you reading this. Because it really is kind of like, the humor is kind of like mature, and there's like, just it's kind of like a PG-13 at the very least kind of thing that's happening. So I always knew that it wasn't like family friendly per se, but yeah, no, that I definitely wasn't expecting by any stretch of the imagination.
The funny thing is that Homestuck is put on physical now. I don't know if you own them, but now there's physical books of Homestuck. Like, they're releasing the whole thing in book form, and I have the first 5 books, but I still need to get book 6. The epilogues, and whenever Hussey feels like releasing the rest.
Oh yeah. Now I remember when the first one came out, the first Homestuck book came out, and I was like, oh well, how does this work? Because I feel like there's a lot of Homestuck animations and flashes and stuff like that happen. So I was like, interesting. But no. I haven't seen them in person, so I would like to see them in person at some point. But I did think that was like kind of genius, but also kind of a bit weird.
Well, I mean, the genius part is that you have Homestuck forever. If the internet blows up one day, you still have Homestuck. But
Exactly.
But the other part of it is that you get no songs, you get no Flash, you get no Flash games, you get no videos. It's just a book.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's kind of part of what made Homestuck like such a unique and powerful experience, is that, you had so many elements that came together to make Homestuck. The game aspects and the music aspects and the flashes and the, whatever. Um, and I owned both of the Homestuck albums that were released with all of the fan songs on them. That was really exciting when that ended up happening. So, I love the artist collaboration and the various elements of different kinds of art that went in to make it kind of what it was. So, I'm not sure how I feel about it being in a book form, but I'm sure it translates probably better than I think it will.
No, I gotta say I'm loving this conversation because we've been 45 minutes in and there's been nothing mostly but Homestuck, and I love it.
Oh yeah, I'm regardless of me like really being in the fandom or anything anymore. Like regardless of how I may or may not be, like I feel like once you're into Homestuck, you're always like super into Homestuck, and you're always like very passionate about Homestuck, because I feel like even though I'm not in it like I used to by any means, I'm still really into it, and I still really appreciate like what it did for the internet and the cosplay community, et cetera,
Homestuck is one of those things, right, where it's like, like once you start reading it and you get into it and you start cosplaying from it and Homestuck just comes into your life like a raging storm. Like the storm just never ends. It's always in you. Like it's always swirling somewhere. It could be in your mind, it could be in your heart. It's always gonna stay there. It's never gonna go away, no matter how old you get and how far away from it you get from it.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. And this, I actually had put down my Homestuck cosplays for a while, because you get into other things and you want to cosplay various different things. And I put my Homestuck cosplays down for a little bit, and then in 2020 I was like, man, I really want to get back into Homestuck cosplay again. I really want to do that again. So I actually grew out of most of my Terezi cosplay, and I had to I had to paint a new shirt and all this other stuff and get it together again. And I remember I put it on, and it was just like this powerful sense of nostalgia that happened,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I don't know why I ever stopped. This is great.
You're like, why did I ever stop? This is like the best feeling ever.
Yeah, definitely. And very much needed during the trying times of 2020,
Yeah, I'm glad Homestuck can make you happy during a pandemic, because I'm pretty sure Homestuck makes a lot of people happy, pandemic wise and not during a pandemic. It's just fun all around. I'm just saying.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of one of those strange comforts, So it's been very good to have through all of this.
It's really the best. But since you're a gamer, we didn't even talk about your gaming stuff, because I know that you said that you love the gaming and all that. What is your favorite game? And if I can guess, let me guess, High Swap.
I actually have not played Hive Swap. I really want to, but I didn't even. I knew that the game had come out because I had helped finance the Kickstarter when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know. Like, I looked it up the other day because I was like, I kind of would like to play this because, one, I helped fund it, and two, it's a Homestuck game that I haven't played, and I'm sure it's amazing. And then I looked it up, and there's like so many different installments now, which I didn't expect. So I haven't played it yet, but my favorite game actually is not very far off from Homestuck. But it's Undertale is my favorite right now. The creator was heavily inspired by Homestuck and all these other things, and it's been you can definitely, when you play it, you can definitely tell that the inspiration came from Homestuck. But yeah, it's Undertale. I really love it. I think it's a fantastic game. If you haven't played it yet, or if anybody listening hasn't played it yet, I highly recommend it. It's very good, especially if you like Homestuck. You'll probably like Undertale.
Yeah, because isn't it so crazy that like the Undertale fandom and the Homestuck fandom is so close knit with each other? Like they're not even related, but they feel so related at the same time that you can just bend it and twist it, that they could basically be like in the same kind of collective groups. Like you can have the Homestucks with the Undertales and the Undertales with the Homestucks, and it will make sense because it's just like, I don't know why it makes sense. It just does.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of the same like tones and feelings in both of them. You can kind of tell that they were both kind of written with the same ideas and the same feelings. You can tell that Toby Fox has read and enjoyed Homestuck before. So I feel like it's not too surprising that it ended up that way, but I feel like it is very surprising that you can see almost any Undertale fan at all and just know that they were into Homestuck once. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're obviously they're their own separate fandoms, because there's I almost said Understuck.
I'm sure it's out there.
I'm pretty sure if that was real, you would be peeing your pants right now, like, oh my god, my girl's gonna be in Undertale.
I mean, I definitely could see it working, honestly.
I mean, like, knowing what I know about Undertale, which isn't much, but from what I know about Undertale, Trezzy would be perfect in that game.
Oh yeah.
But you know, Undertale and Homestuck obviously are their own separate fandoms, and they have their own separate cosplayers and everything. But you can mix them up, and no one's gonna say, like, if there's like someone who walked up to a group of a mixture of Homestuck and Undertale cosplayers, they're just gonna think the Undertale characters are part of Homestuck, because no one's gonna tell the difference.
Oh yeah. And I feel like back when conventions were a thing, I feel like Homestuck and Undertale fandoms both kind of have a tendency to just gather into like huge groups. So I feel like that's kind of the same too.
Since Undertale is like your favorite game right now, I mean, like, what else do you like playing? Like, what else are like games that you like playing besides Undertale? Possibly High Swap sometime soon, and then everything else. What is it?
So I actually got into gaming because of the Valve games. Yeah. So like TF2 and Portal and Half-Life and et cetera, et cetera. Half-Life was actually my favorite game for Half-Life 2 more. Was my favorite game for a while, until I played Undertale and then completely fell in love with it. And I was like, oh, well, seems like something's finally taking Half-Life off of its pedestal here. So Half-Life was my favorite game for a while, but I really got into the Valve games when they were coming out. And really, I actually did Portal cosplay like way back when. I used to, before I was really known for my Terezi cosplay, I was kind of known for like a companion cube cosplay that I did like way long ago. So I really liked those games a lot. And then, the occasional Sims.
Dude, can you imagine if the Pearl Gun was real? Oh my god, that would be so fantastic.
Yeah, I've actually made Homestuck Sims. Like back in the day, I made a lot of Homestuck Sims when Simstuck was popular on Tumblr.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying, can you imagine if the Pearl Gun was real? Like, that would be like so amazing. That'd be just as amazing as like teleportation. Like,
Yeah, I know. I actually the Valve store sold like a replica portal gun for a while, and it was like really expensive, and there's really no use to have it. But I remember wanting it so badly for like little to no reason. I just thought it was really cool, and I wanted it.
I mean, like, have you been a gamer since you've been a kid, or was gaming something that you weren't really into as a kid and you just got into it like in the recent years?
No, I've always kind of been into it. Was really into gaming, and so I kind of grew up around them. Uh, I console I really kind of played on was the Sega Genesis, so I've been around games for pretty much my whole life. Because my dad was really into games as well, and I kind of, just leaned more into it as I got older. I enjoyed more and more games, moved on to more and more consoles. I'd like to get, I have a lot of games, but not really a computer that can handle a lot of them. So I'd like to get a gaming PC in hopefully the near future. But yeah, I've kind of been around it my whole life, really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like for me, if I can share, my first ever console ever was the Super Nintendo, the SNES. That was my first console ever that my parents had ever bought for me when I was younger, and and then like growing up, I I didn't know anything else. Like I thought like Super Nintendo was the only thing that existed at that point, and
Yeah.
and then then I go out into the world as a kid. I leave my little apartment and I go out into the world and I figure out like, oh, the Sega Genesis is this, and I go like, oh, that is this, that is this, that is this, you know,
Yeah.
doing the that is this
It
trick.
kind of is surprising how much there is out there, Even KFC is making a console now.
Yeah, I mean, like, no, tell me, what's your what consoles do you own and what consoles do you like?
My favorite is the Nintendo Switch, to nobody's surprise.
Yep.
I also own an Xbox 360. I have not found the need to upgrade the Xbox past that point. I play on PlayStation 3 a lot, but my consoles are kind of old. The newest one that I really have is the the Nintendo Switch, which I sent off the controllers for repair, and I'm waiting for them to get back to me. It's an agonizing wait because I really can't play anything on the Switch until they get back.
You never you never got interested in the new Xbox or the PS4 now going PS5.
I would like to get the PS5 because I've been wanting to play the Final Fantasy VII remake that came out like really recently. I've never played Final Fantasy VII. I played my first Final Fantasy game like really recently. I played 10 recently,
Mm-hmm.
which was the first one that I ever played. I'd like to get it and then be able to play the Final Fantasy VII remake, but they've been hard to come by. Clearly, everybody's buying them and then selling them for higher prices or whatever.
Well, here's the cool thing, right? If you do get a PS5, you can buy PS4 games for it because the thing can play PS4 games.
Yeah, backwards compatible. I feel like that should be kind of a thing that happens with like every console, but for some reason it doesn't. I guess to make more money or whatever. But I was very happy when I found out they were backwards compatible in this iteration.
No, I heard no they were throwing a promo right for the PS5 like months ago, like way before it came out, and like they were saying like oh the PS4 like the PS5 was going to be able to play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PS4 games. It was going to play all those games, including the PS5 games that come out for it. But like that didn't happen, and so it's like, why are you telling us it could do it?
Yeah,
I
a
understand.
little bit fishy, but
What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I understand concept videos, but don't lie that big to us.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, it's about, you know, making your money. I respect the hustle, I guess. But I don't see any reason why they can't, you know what I mean?
hmm But hey, I mean, it's cool because I know we were talking about the Genesis earlier, but I own the Genesis.
Yeah, I love the Sega Genesis.
What
I
what
think it's great.
which one do you like though? Which model do you like? The original model, the second model, or the really tiny third model they made?
Um, I didn't even know there were more than one. I think that I have like the first model,
Oh, do you?
but um, yeah, I have the second model actually. I just had to look it up. I have the second model, um, but I feel like I like it because I feel like it's a strong sense of nostalgia. And I have like a lot of the Disney games that came out on the Sega Genesis
Yeah,
with the stupid Lion King game that I cannot seem to beat. It's incredibly difficult. But
yeah.
I feel like it's a heavy sense of nostalgia when I get on the Sega Genesis for sure.
No, do you know funny? I, this this is gonna sound very convenient, but the second model is the one I own too.
I mean, can't knock a great Sega Genesis model, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing is that the first model is really big, and the second one is like more shelf friendly.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's important now with consoles to make them to where you can fit several on a shelf because chances are if somebody has one console, they're gonna have another one and another one and another one. You know?
Did you ever play or ever heard of the Turbo Graphics?
The Turbo Graphics?
Uh huh. Turbo Graphics 16.
Mm-mm, I
It
haven't.
Yeah, they that's another console. I never played it. I want one though because it's a really cool concept. Basically, pretty much how do I explain it? It's basically like a do you know the Nintendo Switch? What it is today? Where it's like a the little tiny chips and you put it in your console and boom, there it is.
Yes.
This Turbo Graphics
I
thing.
don't own any tiny chips because I know that I will lose them, so I buy like everything digitally.
Yeah,
But I do know what you're talking about.
yeah. Well, I was. I'm pretty sure you knew what I was talking about. I just had to explain anyway. But just for you to get this, and so pretty much what the Turbo Graphics is, it's like it's this. I don't know if you looked it up when I was talking about, but it's basically this long black console, and it has once and the games are on chips too, but they're like as big as like playing cards almost, and you just slot it into the console, and then and then when you turn it on, it locks the card into place, so you can't take it out, and it's like really cool. It's like putting it's like you know putting a cartridge in, but you're sliding it in sideways. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, I see that. It kind of reminds me of the cartridges kind of remind me of Game Boy cartridges.
It sort of is, and the thing on top of that too is that they also made uh, the go with the hype of the console. They also made the Turbo Express, which is basically the home console, and you can take it wherever you want. So it plays the same cartridges that it plays, like the same games, the cards that you put in the home console play in the Turbo Express, and you can play them. You can take the games anywhere that you want and play them wherever. They even came with a TV attachment so you can watch TV on the thing, but obviously that doesn't work anymore because a ton of TV has been long gone for years.
Yeah. No, it's definitely I definitely hadn't heard of it before, but it's definitely very cool looking.
Yeah,
I remember the handheld little console things that you would like just plug directly into the TV with the red, yellow, white cables.
yeah.
Those used to be like super popular. I had a SpongeBob one with like 6 SpongeBob mini games on it or something like that.
To another one that I want to bring up. Have you ever heard of the Neo Geo before?
No,
You never
I
heard?
don't know a lot of vintage console stuff, but I'm always interested.
Yeah, the Neo Geo was a arcade machine turned home console because of popularity reasons. And if you look it up, if you look at just if you go into Google right now, just put Neo Geo price, original price from and I'm pretty sure it will pull up the price from back in the day. That will tell you everything that you need to know about how you or your friends did not own the thing growing up back in the 90s.
$650.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why you or none of your friends had it growing up.
No, definitely not.
And the games themselves were almost that expensive. Well, the really like popular and good games were like almost that expensive as well. But like they had the lower price games too. But the really good ones like Art of Fighting, King of Fighters, those kind of games were the real expensive ones that got really pricey. The lower end games,
Oh yeah.
the lower end games like ran for like $50, I think. But it's a cool console.
Can't.
What's that?
Hard to imagine a lower end game running for like $50.
Hey, that's SNK.
Especially back then.
Well, hey, that's SNK. It's fine. They want you to shell out $600 for that console to get a cartridge that almost was as big as your head.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I want a Neo Geo, but I know I can't afford it.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're going for like extreme prices, I'm sure, on eBay right now.
Yeah, just no. If you want like a very good like example, look up Metal Slug 1 for just the regular Neo Geo, just for the cartridge on eBay, and you'll see how much that's running for. That's it. That should tell you everything. It's crazy.
The lucrative nature of game collecting is always very interesting to me because I know that some people are like really into old cartridges and consoles and stuff like that, and I always see them being sold at anime conventions every once in a while and stuff like that. I always think it's very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I mean those Neo Geo cartridges can go into the millions sometimes, especially the ones that are like, like Metal Slug 1. I think that cartridge goes for like millions of dollars because it's the first Metal Slug on cartridge.
Yeah, crazy.
It,
And it's interesting. It's like how many of these people, like when they bought this, were like, "This is going to be an insane collector's item." You know what I mean?
yeah, back then people were like, it's just another game. This isn't going to raise up in price any time in any year. Fast forward to 2021, oh, it's like $1,000. You have to be a millionaire to buy this game now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's why I'm so glad there's alternatives now, so we don't have to spend that kind of money.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, like
There's Switch downloads that are like $5 now.
yeah, because like you're a gamer. I mean, I'm pretty sure you heard about this Arcade One Up. You probably heard of them, right?
Yes.
They made well, they didn't make this, but a part SNK themselves teamed up with a company to make this. But they basically made like an Arcade One Up thing themselves of just nothing but Neo Geo games, and it has like all the Metal Slugs on it, all the King of Fighters on it. all the art of fighting games, all the like all that kind of stuff. They literally made like a giant like a Neo Geo collection of like 50 of the best Neo Geo games on it, and it looks like one of those arcade one-ups.
I also think that people that do the game emulation stuff are really talented people. The uh, emulators that you can get on the computer and stuff,
Yeah.
I think are a really cool concept too.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Makes old stuff more accessible.
yeah, because I when I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking I'm gonna like after the PS4 runs its course and everything strictly becomes PS5 and the new Xbox, I'm just gonna strictly go PC gaming. I'm just gonna go PC.
Oh yeah, it's definitely easier really because I feel like you can mod your games and it's as long as you keep like your computer up to snuff, I suppose. I feel like it's easier in the long run to keep up with all the different things.
Yeah, you gotta have your security system going good. You gotta have your files in order. You gotta make sure there's absolutely no slowdown, all that crap. Just
Hmm.
because let me tell you, with this PC I have right here, it won't modern games cannot run on this thing. I can tell you that right now from experience.
Oh yeah, I had a nice gaming computer that bit the dust like a few years ago, so I haven't been able to really do anything on it much since then. So I definitely need to upgrade my system to play all the various games that I have collected over the years.
Oh, speaking of biting the dust, you made a Queen reference there. What kind of music do you listen to?
Mm. I listen to various things. I listen to a lot of like TikTok music because I feel like that's one of the best ways to discover like a new artist these days is um, just to get on TikTok and see what's trending. Um, I listen to various things. I am that person that can kind of listen to almost anything, but I don't listen to country music and I don't listen to death metal. But I listen to pretty much anything else.
I can't get behind death metal our country.
Yeah,
I can't get behind that screamo stuff and like where you can't basically understand what the heck they're saying. I can't I can't get behind that.
yeah. I have friends that are really into it. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But I like to be. That's the whole reason I don't like it is because I really can't understand. Okay. I like to listen to music that you know, that doesn't just sound like a bunch of random screaming, I guess.
Hey, no, it's fine. But hey, an hour and 12 minutes. I usually like going an hour, but we had such a fun time. We went overtime. But hey, I would love to have you back
Well,
on. You know?
yeah, it was a good time. I was glad to be here. Very honored that I would even be asked. So thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, no problem. I already like said all this stuff. I mean, for everyone who doesn't know, we were talking last night so we can get to know each other and meet each other before we did this podcast. I know last night I hyped you up to the high heavens, but like, but no, I truly do want to say for everyone who's listening and everything that like, thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for being awesome. Thanks for being nice. You're an amazing person. You're really nice. And you're really awesome. Yeah, if there was ever a point in your life when cosplaying and when not cosplaying that you thought you weren't worth it without something, let me tell you, you are worth it because you really do a good job. And I'm not just saying that because you're a really cool person, but I say that for you and for all my friends who also do cosplay that like that you guys that you and all my friends who cosplay are amazing people, and without you guys, I probably would not be a cosplayer myself.
Well, I'm very honored. Thank you so much.
hmm And your boyfriend's very lucky to have someone like you, because he didn't know what cosplay was in the beginning, and now he knows, and it's all because of you. So congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. I'll do my outro and I'll let you do yours. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to episode 147 of Cyber Timebite. You can find me on Facebook at Cyber Timebite. You can follow me on Twitter at Nostalgia Vamp. You can buy all my merchandise at redbubble.com under Crash Even Gear, where even you know that the spork is the most powerful of them all. And you can buy all of the Circus Stuck merch at Circus Stuck on Teespring. Make sure to buy the merch. Make sure to go check out the other episodes. Make sure to follow me on all my social media. How about you? Where can people find Bento Box Cosplay?
I'm Bento Box Cosplay on TikTok, no spaces. I am also Bento Box Cosplay on Facebook. That one has spaces. But those are the 3 social media that I'm really on, and you can find me on all of those.
So TikTok, Facebook, and what's the other one again?
Instagram.
All Bento Box?
All Bento Box Cosplay. BentoBoxCosplay.
So I'm getting and real quickly, I'm guessing you click the Bento Boxes, right? You're subscribed to Bento Boxes?
Yes, I do like the Bento Boxes.
My nerd over here, my resident nerd. Oh man, this is the best. Hey, I would love to have you back on. It would be so amazing. We can talk about a lot more. Like, we can go deeper into gaming. I mean, because I know this podcast has been mostly Homestuck, but I'm like we can talk more about gaming and other things that you like too, and that'd be fun. So yeah, I want to thank everyone here for listening to this podcast today. I hope all of you have a fantastic day. Have a good one.
Bye.